Welcome, everybody. I am Kevin in Saudi Arabia. Welcome back, and thank you for joining in with me. Today, I have another gentleman here that I want to talk to you about. This is people doing Hajj, an 8,000, I can't think of the word. In America, it's 8,000 miles, but they did it on horseback from Spain all the way here to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So I want to share this story with you, and please bear with me. As I say with everyone that I talk to, I always let the person introduce themselves, and then we'll get into a bunch of questions. So, hey, so what's your name?
Hello, my name is Abdul Qadir Harkasi.
See, I told you I couldn't say that again. You want to say that again for the listening audience?
Yes, Abdul Qadir Harkasi.
That's funny. Thank you very much. And I am humbled and honored. I'll tell you
Thank
that
you.
at the
Pleasure is
beginning
mine.
for taking this time to do this interview with me. So, you guys rode horses from Spain all the way to here. Can you tell us where you started? And also tell me why and how
Yeah.
and what for.
Yeah. So this idea is Dr. Rafael, the man you were talking to a minute ago. So Rafael's idea, he became Muslim about 36 years ago, and he then promised to Allah to go to Hajj on horseback like our Andalusian ancestors did. Going to Hajj is something that people now do normally by plane. So the pilgrimage part of, or the traveling part of pilgrimage has been lost, other than the 5 hours that you're in the plane. So he wanted to recover that, and about 5 years ago, he got in touch with me. We worked in a translation of a book, of a manuscript, from Arabic to English, from Arabic to Spanish. And we then, at the end of the job, he said to me, look, I've got this dream. Would you come with me? And I didn't even think about it. We just said yes. Then I had to face my wife's wrath.
Did she say, what?
Yeah, basically she said, how did you decide that without telling me? Then it took about 4 years of training and convincing my wife all along. I think convincing my wife was more difficult than all the training we did. And we took off the 13th of October 2024 from a small village in the south of Spain, Almonaster, in the province of Huelva, Andalusia. We took off from a historical mosque, one of the oldest mosques that remain in Spain as a mosque, probably 1,200 years old, with a big gathering that sent us off to Hajj.
Yeah. But also, too, for the people out there, I want you to realize this has not been done in over 500 centuries. In 500 years, I'll put it like that.
Yeah.
So that's what's so unique about this. And then you guys brought it to life. There was a lot of training going on before then, and taking little small trips to make it all right, so that your body can absorb whatever nature would give to you. How did you guys manage to think about getting Arabian horses? Is that because they're the best horse for a trip like this?
Yes, I think they're the horses that have the best resistance, endurance. Now, there's endurance competitions where horses do up to 160 kilometers in one day. And so we selected from horses from a stud farm that was specialized on endurance races. We selected 5 mares, all mares, all at the right age that we saw that had the capacities, and we trained with them and selected and brought new horses as we saw fit to make this possible. Yeah.
That sounds good. I mean, it's nothing like riding a horse and getting to know. Well, wildlife will know you if you treat them right.
Yeah.
When I was in Egypt, to veer off a little bit, I wish they would have treated the horses a little bit better. But
Yeah.
such as that.
Yeah.
So these horses are from a family line.
Yeah.
So there's just not any type of horses.
Yes. They are Arabian Asil horses, mainly from Khuzestan, which is a province very close, an Iranian province where a lot of the Arab tribes migrated in the times of big famines in the peninsula. So we move north, in this case east, into the Arab mountains, and these Arab tribes all had their own horses. From where they were bought and brought into Spain to breed for long distance racing. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the countries you went through, and
Mhm.
could you tell me a little bit about how people treated you along the way?
Yeah,
Was there something
yeah,
special
yeah,
here
yeah,
versus their
yeah,
food
yeah,
and
yeah.
culture-wise?
So we, as I said, we set off from the south of Spain. We crossed the whole Spain diagonally from southwest to northeast.
I
Uh,
love Spain. Been there.
Beautiful country. It's a country that's very open, that people live in the big cities, and everything else is like left untouched. A lot of ghost towns wherever we went through, and a lot of
Actually, ghost towns.
ghost towns. Yeah, we didn't encounter any ghosts, but they could definitely be there because there were nowhere else.
I'm looking as if there once was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there were people in the past, but as I say, most of population in Spain concentrates in the big cities, and the countryside is left alone now. What they call La España vaciada, the emptied Spain, which is the surrounding areas, the countryside. Through there, it was very easy. We set about 40 kilometers a day route, and the country is very much very open to camp everywhere. Wherever you find a corner, you can put your tent, camp, leave your horses in a electrified fence within electrified fence that we set up for them, so they don't run away. But they're free to move and eat and roam in the area.
I'm going to take you back a little bit because is there a little story you want to tell us about you happened to you before you crossed the border?
Yes,
something in
yes,
Spain?
yes. When we were in Avila, north of Spain, one of the days we set off, and we couldn't get to the place we wanted. We couldn't complete the 40 kilometers where we had a place to stay. So we looked for a place in our route, about 35 kilometers from where we started in the morning, and we found a church that had a green in front and a wall that surrounded it. Was perfect for the horses to sit, to stay the night, to eat green, and for us to put a tent on. A church that it was probably the only church in town, in a very small village, maybe about 200 people, but it wasn't used every day, so we thought we can just stay there. So we got there and put the horses in, closed the door, decided to pray. It was a type of Maghrib prayer, and it's a very Catholic country. Spain is, and you probably know about the history of Muslims in Spain and how they were, and the Inquisition, and things still remain. It's not everywhere, but in a small town, probably the church is the most precious building they have. So we didn't want to offend them either, and we didn't want to be kicked out of there. It was nighttime. You can't move with 5 horses at that time of the day. So we waited. We said, let's just wait a second because there's a lady approaching before we pray. And the lady approached us. We spoke to her. She wanted to see horses. We just told her we were travelers and pilgrims, we said. And there's very close to where we were, Santiago. Is a site where a lot of Christian Catholics go from all over Europe. So we thought if we said we're pilgrims, people would understand that we're going to Santiago and not coming to Mecca, and they wouldn't bother us, especially in a religious site. So we then, she left, we prayed behind the horse box that we carry with us in the car, and as we finished the prayer, we start setting the tent up, and we hear Buenas tardes, like good afternoon or good evening. We were scared. This male voice came out of nowhere. We knew we were getting kicked out. He said, well, what are you doing here? We said, we just spending a night with travelers. We're going to spend the night here and leave. It's one night only. He said, no, you can't stay here. He said, oh, no. Like, once they kick you out from a place, then finding a second place with 5 horses, like, at night time is very difficult. We said, please, it's just one night. He said, no, you can't stay here. There's a storm coming. And I have a hotel 100 meters from here where you can come and sleep. I said, we don't have money to pay you for a hotel. I said, no, this is totally free. You come, have 3 rooms empty tonight. Just come, stay the night. And in the morning, he asked us, have you not seen the news? I said, well, no, we've been riding the whole day. He said, there's a massive storm coming. So we accepted his invitation very politely. We left the horses there. We went into the hotel. It poured it down that night. It was a massive storm. Water would have come in to the tent from every corner. And we're very grateful. Next morning, we asked him, look, we're leaving now. We want to know who are you? What's your name? His name was Fernando Alfayete. I said, Alfayete. It's a very interesting surname. He said, yeah, we probably Moriscos.
We are what?
Moriscos. Moriscos are the old Muslim people that lived in Spain under Christian rule after the Christian conquest of Al-Andalus. So I went on and looked for his name, and in fact, Alfayete comes from the old Arabic, Spano-Arabic word Al-Fayet, and from the Arabic Al-Khayyat. So he comes from a tailor's family, a family that was called the Tailors. It was interesting that we as a Muslims, as a Muslim group, traveling through Spain, we meet this one person that we don't know anything about him, he doesn't know anything about us. And he happens to be descendant of the people that we're trying to imitate and revive in our trip. Yeah. So it was a very beautiful experience. And like this, many throughout the trip.
That sounds really good. I mean, who would have thought, though? But that's really a good story to hear.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess Allah was with you from
Yes.
the beginning of the journey.
Yes, indeed, very much.
So you guys got up and got going the next day, and it was a very eventful day. With a storm like that, was the roads washed out or the trails that you were on, and who mapped out the direction that you would go?
Yeah, so we had a rough map of the route. We know what was the shortest route, but every day when we get to a place, we plan for the next day, and we look at the route, the shortest way from village to village. So we normally go through the countryside. It's better for the horses' hooves. It's better for us. There's no cars around us. You just see the green. You see the animals. You see the sky above you. So we map it out on Google Maps, basically.
I'm laughing to myself because you told the guy you didn't have any money. So I'm saying you guys are taking this rustic camp trip with no money. Did you eat wildlife along the way?
Yeah, we'd have loved to be hunting, but we left with each of us put into a pot 1,500 euros for the trip. Of course, by the time we were in Avila, that money had already been spent. Horse feed, we had to buy a horse box to transport horses in case anything happened. Petrol, food for us. Horse shoes as well. So after that, it was just God's hand that took us all the way. It was all miraculously achieved from place to place.
Did you pitch a typical Arabic tent every single night?
No. It wasn't a good waterproof modern tent.
The nice carpet on the ground and the armrest and
none of that. None of that. There was 4 of us in a tent for about 5 people. Tent. We had sleeping bags. We had a rug. Yeah, we did have a rug in the middle of the room of the tent to just kind of socialize in the evenings. But we slept in. We didn't have any comfort other than the sleeping bag, basically. Yeah.
So, what did you guys pack? Like sugar? I'm gonna go sugar, flour, oil.
Yeah, we packed. We were buying along the way.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a car that did our support team. This trip is different from the previous or the old traveling routes, because in the past there will be inns or caravanserais in the Muslim world where people would come, travelers would come, set their horses, they'll find food, they'll find feed for the animals in these places. But now all you can find is a petrol station. You can go put your petrol and carry on, which is no good for horses. So we had to improvise our inns wherever we went. So we carried our food with us, we carried the horses' feed with us, we carried our clothes, our tent, our sleeping bags, everything. Very small, very minimized. We carried a couple of T-shirts and jumpers, and that's all we could take with us.
This is fascinating. Now, tell me, several countries that you went to.
Yeah.
How did people accept you?
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of quickly.
Yeah.
What happened in this
Yeah, yeah.
state,
Yeah.
this country?
Yeah.
Like,
France was a very different from Spain. It's very built up. There's no mud roads or
but
like
did you
sand.
meet people there?
We
in-
meet
in the- in-
we met
in-
people everywhere. Yes.
Those are the type of
Yeah.
stories I want to
Yeah.
hear. How people greeted you or welcomed you.
Yeah. Yeah. Most places where that we stayed on were, especially after Spain, were horse stables, equestrian centers. One of them in Italy, for example, we called them up on the phone saying, "Look, we come in. Can we stay there?" They accepted us in. They didn't know much about us. We were just travelers. When we got there, we got into the hall, and we saw that they had Mussolini pictures everywhere, and statues of Mussolini. Yeah, we were at a fascist house. But after a warm conversation with them, and because they would ask us, "What are you doing?" and we'd normally say, "Look, we're going to Hajj with Muslims." But I think the horse element of our trip added a new dimension into the conversation and into the approach of people, because it's an animal that attracts people's hearts. So after the conversation with this man, he got very interested in us, and even put a picture of us with Mussolini or next to one of the Mussolini pictures. So we're kind of proud to have made a fascist look into the Muslims in a different way, and perhaps in a way that is more human and close to us. Yeah.
That sounds great. And then what happened in the next country that you went to?
Then after Italy was Slovenia, a very small country. We passed it very quickly, 3-4 days. Croatia was empty.
As you're going to the Croatia and
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
country you said, were people recognizing you? I mean, because I found you guys, I
Yeah.
Googled you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So were you getting popularity?
I think
at
our
that
popularity started properly in Bosnia. In Italy, I don't want to forget, a Saudi influencer came to help us. He brought us a caravan. That made our popularity, since he's an influencer in the Arab world, very, very big. But the places that we went through we were very unknown to them. I think once we got into Bosnia, again a Muslim country, we were picked up by the media, and then I think our story became a bit bigger there. It was also the zenith of our trip. It was the middle and the most difficult part, and then after that it went all downhill with Turkey, Serbia, Turkey, and all the Muslim world. So I think Sarajevo was the climax, the most difficult place to get to, and then after that was all easy, because people knew us, people hosted us in their houses, people recognized us in the street, to the extent that in Turkey people knew us by our name. So we'd be riding and someone called Abdulkader, and then you turn back and there's someone waving to you or stop you for a selfie.
So I'm going to jump ahead, but I'm going to come back to, would you do this again?
Yes, yeah, I would love to do it again. I would love to maybe even institutionalize it, make it a thing, make horse riding or land pilgrimage to Mecca a reality, a lost reality that the Muslim had throughout history, and now perhaps because there's a lot of borders within the Muslim world, perhaps because now flying and driving is easier. But what we've given to the Muslims that we saw on our route, a happiness that was lost, a happiness related to Hajj, that perhaps the last time they saw it was about 100 years ago during the Ottoman Empire.
That sounds really great. So how's your mental state after going and after you've done this?
Well, I think I've achieved a level of patience and endurance that I didn't have before. Now I can go without eating for a long day. I can be moved from place to place without much difficulty. I've also got to meet a lot of people, a lot of cultures, a lot of dialects and languages that Alhamdulillah, I think I've been privileged with this trip to see people in a very different way. Traveling every day 40 kilometers makes you know people very well, and civilizations and their history and their culture. So yeah, I think it's added to my life and to my knowledge a great amount that I wouldn't have been able to get if I just flew from London to Jeddah in 5 hours.
That sounds wonderful. You're like me. I would rather be in a car and take a road trip
Yeah.
than to be in a plane because there's so much to enjoy along the way.
Yes.
Unless you've done it, you wouldn't understand it.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
little stop here, that little stop there, that little knick-knack there,
Yes.
that little corner there,
Yeah.
that little taste of food, just
Yes.
all those wonderful things.
I think we've also seen the seasons. We've seen nature change along. We left in autumn, at the beginning of autumn, October. We saw the deep winter. We saw the trees bare without leaves. We saw the beginning of spring, the flowers coming, the animals coming out of hibernation.
Hibernation. But make this clear.
Yeah.
This is 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6?
This is about 7 months journey. Yes. And it was all outdoors. We spent I don't know 15 hours a day outside. Made our skins very harsh and our lips broken and our face burned by the sun.
But you loved it.
Definitely, every single moment, every single strode, straight. The horses, every single movement, because the horse also has a movement that you have to get into. Yeah, you have to get into. You have to become. Don't want to sound very strange or weird, but you have to become one with the horse. You have to understand the animal that you're riding. I mean, these horses, she in this case, they are the real heroes of this journey. They have carried us from Spain to Saudi Arabia, every single meter of the journey.
You crossed Syria, is that right?
Yes, we did. We did cross Syria after 14 years of war, and 4 months after the end of the regime, Assad regime. We crossed Syria from the north. We entered the border with Turkey, and we saw a torn down country, places that were historical, totally destroyed by the war. We saw a lot of poverty. We literally saw towns that were totally empty from people because they were expelled from there by the government. We also saw in Syria the happiness of people. I think we were the second biggest happiness that happened to them in 14 years. The first was the end of the Assad regime. The second was our passing through them. The way they welcomed us wherever we went, the way they celebrated us as Muslim foreigners coming to the country. They gave us the best they had, and they put up these beautiful smiles, and they throw roses at us as we were going through the cities. It was a wonderful experience, to the extent that we love these people to the core. Yeah.
Wow. Now give us the grand finale.
Yeah. We entered Saudi Arabia, which was at the end.
Saudi Arabia.
We entered Saudi Arabia from the north of the country, from Al Haditha, and we had a big event in Qurayat from the tribes of Ashararat, who welcomed us into the country. We have since been welcomed in every city. We went to Medina, we went to Yambo, we've now in Jeddah, Riyadh, a country where they proud themselves of being the servants of the two great mosques of the Muslims, and the helpers of the pilgrims. Us as pilgrims, we are very thankful to the government, to the Saudi government, to King Salman and the Prince Mohammed bin Salman for their support along the way, and the great welcoming into the country, and for making Hajj such a and easy thing for everyone that comes from all over the place. So alhamdulillah, we've arrived. We're in Saudi. We're just waiting a couple of days now for Hajj, and yeah, we're very happy to be here.
Yeah. He's like me. I am very happy to be in the wonderful kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But you guys have made history again because no one has done this in over 500 years. And so, on behalf of the Muslim world and also myself, I applaud you.
Thank you. Thank you
And-
very much, Kevin.
And I just think, again, I hope you in the Muslim world will come here and do Hajj one day as well, because Saudi Arabia is a wonderful, open, welcoming place to be. And I want to thank this guy again for sharing his journey with us, because these things just don't happen all the time. And you made history again, so you will go down in the books somewhere. And we got it on film.
We're writing a book of the story. We are writing about our journey. So hopefully someone will keep it for the future.
Well, I tell you what, when you finish that book, you come back and sit and talk with me
I
again.
will. I'll give you a copy.
Cool. Welcome, Saudi Arabia. This is Kevin signing off again. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. On behalf of myself and the staff and the guests, thank you. Thank you, as I humble myself.